Okay, hi everyone. We got there in the end. Thank you for your patience. So myself and Kat are from two of the universities in Scotland. We're from two very different universities, and we'll get a bit more into that in just a second. But we're here to give you a little bit of a flavour about what it's like to study in Scotland, why Scotland is a really, really cool place to do your university studies, and a bit more information on sort of the practical side of things. So these are all of the universities we have in Scotland. It will say this again on a later slide, but I feel like it's more relevant here. We have the highest concentration of universities in all of Europe. So Scotland is a country of just about 5.5 million people, and we have all of these universities. They're largely based in the central belt, which is the middle part, which is where well over half of the population of Scotland live. But there's also some along the east coast in Aberdeen, and also the Highlands and Islands. So one of the really good things about Scotland is there is a university for everyone in terms of location, but there is also a university for everyone in terms of the course offering, the entry requirements, and the financial element as well. So some of the best things about Scotland is that we are an inspiring country, both in terms of our history and our present, and the natural parts of the country, such as the geography as well. You'll see some of that on the slides because we can't not show it off. We are a very welcoming and global country. So Scotland, I would say, I've lived in 4 different countries, and Scotland is the one out of all of those that is the best at welcoming people from all over the world and actually making them a part of the culture and sort of enriching each other's side of things. One of my favorite examples of this is that chicken tikka masala was invented in Glasgow rather than in India. You can still go to the very same restaurant as well. We have over 4,000 different degree combinations between our universities, so it allows students a really high degree of flexibility in terms of what they study. I've covered point 3 already. We also have more than 52,000 international students spread throughout the universities in the country, and these come from more than 180 different countries and territories across the world. And we also have very, very high levels of graduate employability when compared with other parts of the UK, but also compared with other countries in Europe and the wider world as well. So I told you we'd show some of the scenery off in the pictures. So we do have some world-leading universities. The universities generally are split into 3 different categories in Scotland. You have the ancient universities that are all generally at least 400 years old. We have the traditional universities, which are the universities that would have become universities in either the 19th or 20th centuries. And then there are the more modern universities that typically became universities either in the 1990s or thereafter as well. We have very high levels of student satisfaction. This is something Scottish universities pride ourselves on in terms of the student support we offer. Again, the degree structure plays a large role in this as well, but I'll cover that in a bit more detail in a moment. We often have partnerships with universities across the world, allowing students to do either a semester or a whole year at our partner universities, often in other English-speaking countries, but you'll find them in other parts of Europe and other parts of the world as well. Excellent student support and welfare, which I covered a moment ago. We have really good public transport. In fact, everyone that lives in Scotland and is under the age of 22 can use the whole bus network free of charge. We have a very good train network across the country, and we have great links with Europe and the rest of the world. So we've got 4 international airports in Edinburgh, Glasgow, Aberdeen, and Inverness. And those that don't necessarily have direct flights to Cyprus, we often have flights with people like British Airways, KLM, or Lufthansa, so you can usually get to anywhere in Scotland within 2 flights. So in terms of our universities, over 90% of our full-time first degree leavers are in either employment or further study within 12 months of their graduation. This is one of the highest rates in Europe and is the highest rate out of the UK, so including Wales, England, and Northern Ireland. So just repeating the same thing second here, is that graduates from Scottish universities do have the lowest level of graduate unemployment in the UK. So 94% of our graduates are employed, again, within that time frame after graduation. And over 86% of employers find Scottish university graduates to be well prepared for work. And a lot of this has to do with the degree structure and sort of the extra elements that come with it compared to a degree in the UK, the rest of the UK. So a typical degree programme in Scotland is 4 years long at undergraduate level. There are a handful of exceptions to this, notably things like medicine, veterinary medicine and dentistry, which are often 5 or 6 years depending on where you do them, and integrated master's courses will often have a 5th year as well. The degree structure we do offers students breadth in their early years of studies, where you study more than just what you've applied for, depth in your later years as you go and you choose the more specialised modules within your chosen subject areas. You have a high degree of flexibility, which we'll show you with an example in just a moment, and as already mentioned, very high graduation and employment rates as well. So the degree in Scotland, a 4-year degree, there is the chance to do advanced entry on certain programmes. So this will allow you to skip year 1 and go straight into year 3. The exact programmes this is offered at vary by universities. Your high school grades normally do need to be, I think, exceptional is the key thing here. Study abroad we covered, so that's normally a semester or whole year. In Scotland, one of the key benefits of the 4-year programme, this does not add another year to your degree. So it fits quite nicely within the structure that we use. You've got the flexibility to transfer, again, which I'll show you through a bit of an example in a moment. And you also have the opportunity to do work experience or placements on quite a lot of our courses. This might be a module, it might be the school helping you find placements during the year as well. So here is a nice example of a degree for arts and humanities. So in first year, typically, this is the structure at most universities. Some of the more modern universities do not use this structure. But in first year, typically students choose 3 subjects. So history will be what this student applied for. They chose to add English and psychology. The exact rules around what you can add vary a little bit by university. So at Stirling, for example, you generally can add any subject you want with no barriers. At my university, Glasgow, you can normally add anything you want as long as you meet the requirements for that subject. So again, look into that before you go. So in year 2, which will magically appear just now, the student carried on with their history and with their English, but they didn't particularly like psychology. So you're often able to switch out one of your subjects for a different one as you go into second year. But you'll notice history and English was studied at level 2. Archaeology, which was added in second year, was studied at level 1. What this means on a practical sense is the student gets the choice. They can do history as a single honours programme in their second year, 3rd and 4th years, sorry. So this means they will graduate with a degree in history, but with the added elements of the extra subjects they've done, which will appear on your degree transcript. But they could also have chosen to do a joint honours degree. So because they've studied both history and English for 2 years, the student had the choice to carry on with both subjects if they wanted to. It's not shown on a slide, but they could also have chosen to drop history and focus just on English, even though they originally applied for history. So the degree in Scotland is really, really good because in a sense it gives students an extra 2 years to work out what they want to do, which at the age of 18 is quite a valuable option to have. So this is the last slide you'll hear from me talking, so you can be slightly relieved about that. So University of Glasgow is where I work. So we are one of the most beautiful universities in the country. I think it's probably fair to say. We are one of the ancient universities in Scotland. So we were founded in 1451. So we've been around for a long time and we have taught some very, very interesting people, which I'll cover in just a moment. And we are based in the largest city in Scotland. So Glasgow has around 600,000 to 700,000 people. We rank in the top 100 in the world with both QS and Times Higher Education. Both of these do also put us in the top 20 in the world for sustainability as well. So you get a world-class education delivered in a sustainable way, considering the environment as well. We're a member of the Russell Group, so this is the group of research-intensive universities in the UK. So you can guarantee that your lecturers are world-class researchers within their fields. And we have over 40,000 students from more than 140 different countries, including quite a large contingent from both Greece and Cyprus. We have over 600 different undergraduate degree options. So this includes the flexible programs, which cover areas such as arts and humanities, science, social sciences, and life sciences. But we also have the professional degrees that don't follow the same structure, such as engineering, medicine, dentistry, veterinary medicine, and also law. Amongst our alumni, we have 8 different Nobel laureates, predominantly within the fields of chemistry, but also physics and medicine. We have also taught Adam Smith, the founder of economics, and James McCune Smith, who was the first African-American to achieve a medical degree anywhere in the world. So we've always been quite a forward-thinking university. We were the Scottish University of the Year with Times and Sunday Times in 2024, 2022, and in 2020. We've recently invested over £1 billion in our campus, so well over €1 billion, to ensure that while we have these beautiful buildings like on the right-hand side, we are providing students with the modern, world-class facilities they need to make the most of their degree. We also have lots of different scholarship options, including ones based purely for European Union students. So these are worth at least £5,000 per year of study for the vast majority of our courses. For undergraduate students, we have achievement-related scholarships based on high school grades. These go up to £7,000 per year of study. For postgraduate students, we offer a merit-based scholarship based on your university degree score, and this can go up to £10,000 per year. But a master's degree in the UK is typically 1 year long rather than 4.
So I have around 5 minutes to talk about Stirling and some other practical information you might want to know if you're considering studying in Scotland. So I'll try to keep it brief but informative. So starting with the University of Stirling, we are here at the exhibition, of course, so I'd really encourage you to come speak with us after. But a few headline things about our university. We're around 50, 60 years old, so we're not one of the oldest or one of the more modern. We kind of sit in the middle, and we're known for our beautiful woodland campus. So Stirling is a city within the middle of Scotland. It's a lovely city. It's got lots going for it. But 10 minutes from the city centre, you have our beautiful campus. So the image you see on screen here is really what you get. You've got all the university facilities and day-to-day life facilities like the doctors. We've got a cinema, we've got a small supermarket, all within our beautiful park campus that we have on offer. We're also known as the University of Sports Excellence in Scotland, which is a title assigned to us by the Scottish Government. So it reflects our university and the opportunities available for those interested in their fitness, their health, their well-being, and those who like playing sports at any level, whether that's competitive or kind of just day-to-day, like keeping fit and playing sports type of thing. Otherwise, we also have scholarships that are automatic for EU students, which can significantly bring the tuition fee down. But again, if you'd like to come and hear more about Stirling, please do feel free to come visit in the fair afterwards. So a few bits of practical information. In terms of accommodation, across all of our universities in Scotland, we do have accommodation available, and the majority of us do prioritise international students when allocating this. So we know it can be quite overwhelming applying to universities, making your decision, thinking about accommodation, moving to the UK, all this type of thing. So do have a look into those guarantees and speak with us about those today, as it can be something that's quite nice to have in your back pocket, that you know you're going to be looked after, you know you'll be looked after in the sense of having a place for accommodation. So we'd really encourage you to come and research that today at the fair. In terms of fees and finance, the main thing to note is that across the universities in Scotland, all of us set our tuition fees independently. So across those 19, 20 institutions, we will each have different tuition fees on offer for students. We also each have our own scholarships as well. So each university will have their own approach to this. So again, it's a little bit of research to see what's on offer, how would you qualify, is the support financial, or is there a different alternative kind of support that's on offer instead via the scholarships? So it does vary from university to university, but there are some really generous packages out there across the universities in Scotland. Other things to note, so as a result of the political situation in the UK, students on the whole from across Europe, unless they have a British passport, are required to have a visa for studying in the UK. And this is something across Scotland, but the rest of the UK as well. What we would say is it can be a bit of an overwhelming process initially, as it's quite a new thing for students here in Europe. But for the rest of the world, the student visa has been in place for quite a long time. So the process is standard. There's lots of government advice there to support you. And in our roles, we support students before they apply to our universities, but all the way up until they set foot on our campuses. So this is something we are really happy to help you with as well if the time comes. Finally, we just want to cover that in Scotland, you know, similar to other countries, there's just so much going on within our small country that you can get stuck into as part of your experience of being a student. Quite often in our presentations, we focus on employability, accommodation, subject areas, what the degree structure looks like, and it is really important. But as much as you're coming to university to study something you're passionate about, you're coming to live your life there for potentially 4 years with us in Scotland as well. So it's just a slide or two about opportunities on offer for students and of course residents that you could be if you decide to come and live in Scotland. So for example, we have lots of music represented across the whole of Scotland. You've got Glasgow, that's one of the UNESCO cities for music worldwide. So they have concerts, festivals going on every week, whether it's big headline artists or smaller artists kind of learning their trade and performing local concerts. You have things like Transmet on the left, which is the largest festival in Scotland. And then on the right, you have the Fringe, which is the largest art and culture festival in the entire world. So every year over the course of the summer period, Edinburgh is absolutely taken over by creative people, whether they do poetry, drama, music, comedy. We have tons of street food lining all the streets of Edinburgh itself. So a lot of students will stay over the summer, maybe just to soak up the atmosphere and make the most of what's on offer, maybe to get a part-time job and supplement their kind of expenses that they can use for their term time. So there's lots going on throughout the country for students to enjoy. Alternatively, we are very well known for our sport offerings. So we're the founding place of golf in the world. We'll be hosting the Commonwealth Games next year in Glasgow, if any of you want to come and enjoy the games, but maybe visit a couple of universities at the same time. And of course, we have our beautiful rural landscapes throughout Scotland. So within a couple of hours, you can easily go up to the Highlands and the Islands at the top of Scotland. You could go to the coast and go and spend a couple of hours at the beach. Because we're quite a small country, there's a lot of land, but it's really easy to travel around and make the experience what you want from it during your time with us. So that's the end of the presentation. We hope that was useful. And as I said, if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to come and find us at our booths in the exhibition. But thank you.